Welcome to the Monday Mile edition of the Over 50 Health and Wellness Show, your quick hit of inspiration and practical advice to kickstart your week strong. Each Monday, I'll be joined by one of our Silver Edge coaches as we tackle one specific topic you might be struggling with, whether that's nutrition, fitness, mindset, or lifestyle, and we'll break it down into clear, simple, actionable tips you can start using today. And here's the best part. You can knock out this episode on your morning walk. Just lace up those sneakers, hit the pavement, and let us coach you through the first mile of the week. Okay, let's get moving. Hey folks, Coach Kevin here. Today for our Monday Mile episode, I am going to share with you one of the modules that I recorded for our collective program. So this is a training module that I recorded for our collective folks. Now, if you don't know, the Silver Edge Collective is our group training membership program. It is currently closed for new enrollments right now, but we will be opening that up again at the end of this year, beginning of next year, obviously for all of you who have New Year's resolutions to build lean, strong, healthy, capable bodies that you love. If you guys want to get on the waiting list for that, I will throw a link to that in the show notes here. So for today's episode, we are going to talk about the importance of the mind-muscle connection when it comes to strength training. So this is just a brief overview. I think that those of you that are new or intermediate strength training lifters will get some value out of this. Also, I want to let you know that I reference a book somewhere in this training module. I will throw a link to that book, the Amazon link for that book, down in the show notes below. You guys can find all that information in whatever app you're listening to this podcast on, or of course you can head over to our website. So without further ado, let's talk about the importance of mind-muscle connection when it comes to building strength. All right, folks, welcome back. This is stage 3, lesson 3. Today, we're going to talk about the mind-muscle connection. This is such a powerful and often overlooked topic. So let's jump right into it. Now that you are lifting with consistency, you guys are building strength, you're fueling for results. You have worked on or you probably are now working on your sleep, you're working on your stress management. It's time to take your workouts to the next level. And we're not necessarily going to talk about heavier weights or fancier exercises. We're going to talk about something today that can totally transform your training. It can help you get more out of the exact same workouts you're already doing. And that's the mind-muscle connection. So let's start here. What the heck is a mind-muscle connection? What do you even mean? So a mind-muscle connection is exactly what it sounds like, right? It's your ability to mentally connect with the muscle that you're trying to work during an exercise. Now, this is not some woo-woo idea from the bodybuilding world. This is actually backed by research, and it's seen in the results of lifters who develop better body awareness and control. When you intentionally contract the target muscle and you stay focused through the full range of motion, you're going to increase muscle fiber recruitment, and that means you're going to get better results. So this is the difference between going through the motions of an exercise and actually stimulating growth. And now I think you can see why this would matter for muscle building. So when we talk about hypertrophy, aka muscle growth, we're talking about tension. More specifically, we're talking about mechanical tension on the target muscle. And here's the truth. If you're not feeling that working muscle during a set, if you're just moving the weight from point A to point B, you might not be training that muscle effectively at all. In fact, let's just get rid of might in that sentence. You're not training that muscle effectively at all. Movement is not the same as stimulus. So to grow a muscle, you need intentional tension on the right tissues. Now, for those of you that are fairly new to weightlifting, you probably saw amazing progress, right? Your progressive overload is just through the roof. Every single time you do a specific exercise, you're either adding more weights or adding another rep. And over time, we're going to start to plateau because obviously that's not linear. Otherwise, we'd all get infinitely strong and that'd be pretty cool, but that's not what happens. So as you start to move from a beginning lifter to a intermediate lifter, this is where the magic happens, this mind-muscle connection. And those of us that are in our 50s, 60s, 70s, this becomes even more important because we're training smarter, not just harder. So let's kind of talk about what this looks like in practice. Let's get down on ground level. So let's take a simple dumbbell bicep curl, for example. Most people just swing the weights up and down. But when we employ the principles of mind-muscle connection, we are actually squeezing the bicep to initiate that movement. We're controlling the tempo, especially in this case on the way down, and we're focusing on that tension, not just the weight. That's the tension in that target muscle, in this case, the bicep. What that means is better activation, better stimulus, and of course, better results. Now let's talk about a dumbbell row. So that's where we're going to row a dumbbell. We could just yank that dumbbell up and down. We could use some momentum, or we could lock in our lats, because that's the muscle that we're really trying to work on when we're doing a dumbbell row. So we could drive the elbow. We could feel the contraction back here in this big lat muscle. We can pause and squeeze at the top. And you can feel your back working, not your biceps, not your shoulders, not your traps, but that lat muscle doing most of the work. So same movement, but a totally different effect when we are really being aware of that mind-muscle connection. So your goal is to feel the target muscle every time we do an exercise. Before every set, I want you to ask yourself, what muscle am I trying to train here? Now, just a quick aside here. Some of you may have been surprised when I said a dumbbell row, the target muscle is actually back here. It's your lat on your back. You're like, oh, I didn't know that. If you don't know what muscle each exercise is specifically training, you can hop over into the forum and ask the question, hey, I'm doing dumbbell rows. What muscle is the primary mover here? And we'll answer there. Or I've got a resource for you down below. It's a wonderful, fabulous book on weightlifting anatomy. You guys, I strongly encourage you to pick up a copy that is beautifully illustrated, and it has a bunch of different exercises and shows you what all of the primary muscles are and then what the supporting muscles are. But at any rate, I want you to ask yourself before every single exercise, what is the primary muscle that I'm trying to train here? And then during that set, I want you to focus your awareness on that muscle. I don't want your mind drifting off into other things. I want you to stay present, focused, mind-muscle connection. Are you feeling it? Are you controlling it? Are you moving through the full range of motion? So in order to do this, I want you guys to use a slightly slower tempo if needed. I want you to use potentially slightly lighter weights until you can really feel that contraction of the target muscle. And I want you to use intentional pauses at the hardest part of the movement. And when you feel that burn in the right place and you're not just moving stuff, then that's how you know that you're locked in. So without that mind-muscle connection, you are more likely to overuse your joints and supporting muscles. You're definitely going to miss out on some muscle growth. You're 100% sooner or later, you're going to hit some frustrating plateaus, and you may even develop some movement imbalances, and you're definitely going to waste some energy and effort. So your workouts don't necessarily need to be longer or heavier. They just maybe need to be smarter. And this is how we work out smarter. We implement this principle of the mind-muscle connection here. And like anything, this is going to take practice. At first, it may even feel a little awkward, slowing things down, getting a little bit lighter and really focusing. Know that that's normal. That's okay. But the more you do it, like anything else, the more in tune you're going to become with your body. And the payoff's going to be a better pump. You'll 100% get a better pump after your workout. And who doesn't love that, right? You're definitely going to get better form. You'll have better control. You're going to have less injury risk. But here's the big one. You're going to get better gains. You're going to build more muscle. All right, so let's wrap this up. Here's your job from this lesson forward. I want to make sure you know the intent of every exercise, which means you know what the target muscle is. If you don't know, get in the forum and ask, or better yet, go on Amazon, buy that book that I've got linked down below. That way you can know what your workout is for that day and look it up. But I want you to focus on that target muscle through that full range of motion. Feel it working through that full entire range of motion. I want you guys to start to play around with tempo and pauses and form to really amplify the effect of that connection. So remember, it's not just moving the weight, it's connecting, contracting, and controlling it. The mind-muscle connection is one of the most powerful tools in your training toolbox, and now it's yours to master. All right, there you go. That's what I've got for you in this lesson. I will see you guys in the next. Okay, folks, that is your Monday Mile for this week. Quick, simple, and packed with power. If you found this helpful, be sure to share it with a friend who's walking their own path to better health. And hey, don't forget to tune in this Wednesday for our full-length episode of the Over 50 Health and Wellness Show. Until then, keep walking, stay consistent, and as always, stay strong.